Going on in Israel near the Gaza Strip, Israeli leaders reject a European call, primarily a French call, for a 48-hour ceasefire in its 5-day attack on the Gaza Strip. That comes after another Hamas rocket strikes Israel. Today's airstrikes focus on Hamas tunnels, which the Israelis say are being used to smuggle in weapons. Israeli leaders also add that giving Hamas a chance to regroup and rearm is a mistake. More than 350 Palestinians have been killed since Israel's air raids began Saturday in reaction to Hamas rocket attacks on Israel. 4 Israelis have died. And one of the people protesting Israel's response might surprise you because she is Jewish. Her name is Heddy Epstein, and she is also a Holocaust survivor. Heddy was a little girl living in Kippenheim, Germany, when Hitler came to power. In 1939, her parents sent her to safety to England, along with a number of other Jewish children. It was a children's transport. Her family, seen here in a final photo, was forced to stay, and eventually they died in Nazi concentration camps. And Heddy Epstein was nice enough to join us this morning. Thank you so much for coming in.
Good morning. It's a very cold morning.
It is a cold morning. I wanted to ask you how your experiences, growing up in Nazi Germany and with the Holocaust shape how you view the world today.
I think it did shape me, and I know what it felt like to be persecuted, to be discriminated against. And so I guess because of that, I can't stand idly by when I see that other people are being hurt and persecuted.
What is the reaction here in the St. Louis Jewish community, or the community in general, taking a stance against Israel?
I don't know. I have not been in touch with the Jewish community.
Do you hear from people?
I have not.
Okay.
And so I don't know how they feel about it. I'm assuming that they are supporting Israel 100%. And I am not opposed to Israel per se. I am opposed to Israel's policies and practices as they pertain to the Palestinian people.
Some might say that their policies and practices are simply protecting themselves from these rocket attacks.
Israel is the 5th largest military power in the world. It's the largest military power in that area. And what do the Palestinians have? They don't have tanks. They don't have airplanes. They don't have the most recent military equipment. So there's an imbalance there. And I think the root of the problem really is the occupation. If the occupation were to end, I think Israel would have the security that they're talking about, and the Palestinians, who are also entitled to security, would have their security.
Earlier this week, you were outside of Senator Kit Bond's office with some other protesters. Specifically, what were you asking for?
Senator Bond has a close association with Boeing. And Boeing is producing the F-16s that the Israelis are using right now to bomb the people in Gaza. And they're saying they're targeting military or the Gazan militants. Those bombs, when they come down, they don't know who's a militant and who's a civilian. And, so it's collateral damage. Collateral damage are human beings, are men, women, children. I saw some photographs of 5 little girls killed, and their 5 little sisters, and their 6th sister lost her legs, both of her legs.
Heddy
Now,
Epstein,
these were militants?
Do you think there will ever be peace in the Middle East?
I'm an inveterate optimist, so I have to hope that someday there will be peace, and it can't come soon enough, because if it doesn't, it's just going to be a massacre of people on both sides.
Yeah, there's always hope. Heddy Epstein, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. Randy?